Please give a big, warm AGC welcome to business success coach, Alissa Daire Nelson.
Good evening. How about that? I love that introduction. So here's the deal. All day long, you work hard, right? We're Minnesotans. That is what we do, is we work hard. This is why I love Minnesota. How many of you are Minnesota natives? Right? One of the things I love about Minnesota is that nobody is afraid to put a little elbow grease in and to really work hard. But here's the deal. After you've done all the work all day long, you still got so much more to do, right? And you're frustrated and you're overwhelmed. Sometimes you're broke. Sometimes you feel like an imposter. Sometimes you wonder why you've actually done this whole entrepreneurship thing in the first place, and you get really discouraged. Has anyone ever been in that place? Today? So you want to kind of go and hide, right? Anyone ever been in that place where you just kind of want to like hide and not come out and hope that someday that it'll get a little brighter? So here's the thing, is that right now is your time to step out of those shadows and truly shine. I want you for a moment just to close your eyes, and I want you to think of the last time that you felt like you were on top of the world. You felt fully confident. You knew you were doing the right things, and you knew you were in the right spot at the right time, right? Now I want you to open your eyes, because here's the thing, is that the bright side of that, the shiny side of that, is you actually legit have superpowers. You guys believe me?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. Some people have already found them. Most of you haven't quite yet, but tonight we're going to. So your superpowers are simply your 4 things. So tonight we're going to learn what your 4 things are, and then you're going to be able to articulate that, put it all together, and voila, magic will happen. So here's the 4 things. It's your core values. It's your life experiences. Now, I'm not just talking about like, you won, Salesman of the Year, right? I'm also talking about the bad experiences, the ones that were really hard. All of your memorable life experiences. Your education, that's both your formal and your informal education. So conferences that you've been to, certifications, yes, university degrees, whether you're using them or not, all of it. And then your Strengths Finder, which they, renamed a couple years ago, the Clifton Strengths. Anyone taken the Strengths Finder?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's the bomb. Okay, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So those are your 4 things. And altogether, what it means is that you are truly perfectly lopsided. Any puzzlers in the room? Who likes to do puzzles?
Yeah.
Puzzles is like the one thing that my husband and I love to do with our kids, because they actually will sit down and do it, and then like this magic conversation happens. And it's fantastic. So here's the thing. Our society tells us that we're supposed to be well-rounded, right? Like that's what we're taught in school, be well-rounded. You gotta know all the things, you know a little bit about all the things. But then once you get out into the real world, none of that matters anymore, right? But we're still thinking we have to be well-rounded. If you took each of the puzzle pieces of this 1,000-piece puzzle and you shaved them all down and you made them well-rounded, the puzzle doesn't work anymore. And the same is true for us as a human society, right? We are all perfectly lopsided. We're built that way, and guess what? All of our clients are perfectly lopsided too, which means that they're waiting for us to step out of those shadows and into our superpowers. So let's dive into our 4 things, because I want you to be able to walk away knowing tonight that what your 4 things are and how to really articulate them. So your core values. Your core values are going to give you your why. right? Simon Sinek says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, right? So knowing your why, knowing what your core values are, what you stand for and what you don't stand for, those things are really, really important. It's also gonna help you define your niche. So how many of you have ever felt like you're like one of a million, right? Like, a million people do what I do. But guys, look, I'm a business coach, all right? So like, there's a lot of us out there. But here's the thing, that doesn't make me afraid, because I know that I'm different than every other business coach out there. I'm right for some, I'm not right for others, and that's okay, right? There's enough to go around. But you have to really understand what's really important to you, right? So one of the things that's important to me as a business coach is somebody who's willing to take action. And I ask them to prove it to me up front, right? Because I need to move. And I want to take people with me as I move. So ponderers aren't good clients for me. That's okay, right? And I'm also not the great coach for someone who wants to just sit and really think through some things. And that's okay too. And there are some other people, some other coaches who that might be okay for. Not for me. What's really, really matters to you? All right, let's move on to your life experiences. Now, your life experiences are going to give you a little bit of your what, right? And they're going to give you a little bit of your why. So your what, when it comes to life experiences, is your street cred, right? You know, like the school hard knocks, right? Those come from your life experiences. That's what you do. But who's ever had an experience that propels you in your purpose? Most of us have, right? So it's going to give you your what and your why, and it's going to be able to help you make connection with the right people, right? Ever been in conversation with somebody and you're like, oh yeah, I'm one of 7 kids. Oh my gosh, I'm one of 6. That's great. And you begin to have a different type of connection, right? So your life experiences really do matter here, and it's relatable. Don't be afraid to share your previous life experiences. Those life experiences, even the hard ones, those obstacles, you can use them as stepping stones, right? So you can't really tell here, but at the bottom of that picture is a road, right? And so when you've got a giant rock landslide, it blocks the road, right? You might be hiking and you got like, I don't know, there's this big giant boulder in my way. But if you climb up onto that boulder, you're gonna find yourself up at the next level. And now you don't have to just figure out a way around that boulder, you can use it. Make those rough experiences in your life pay rent. It's okay to use your life experiences to propel you forward. All right, so now your education. I personally have 2 degrees that I'm not currently using. How about that? Anyone else have a degree they're not currently using? Right. So, and many of you are using a degree that you currently have, and that's cool too, right? But that education isn't wasted. It just makes me a richer individual. How many business coaches do you know that have 2 degrees in the healthcare field? It allows me to set myself apart in a little bit of a different way, right? Now, your education is also those conferences you go to. It's also the certifications, both the big ones and the small ones. It's also the books you read. Any book readers in the room? Right. Those books matter. They're a part of your education. Don't forget those things, right? That rich background only gives you more credibility, right? So, like women especially, we do this, right? I dye my hair. You'll never know when I go gray. And we're always trying to kind of keep ourselves a little bit young, right? Own that. Own that. I'm 40 years old, and I am so proud of all of those 40 years of experience. I earned every dang last one of those years, right? I don't want to be 29. So own that education. Own the time you put in. You have more credibility for it. Yeah, that's what I think about my college degrees. All right, and now your Strengths Finder. So your Strengths Finder is going to give you your how you go about doing whatever it is you do. Okay, so between your 4 things now, you have your what, your why, and your how. That's all you need. That's all you need in order to come out into the world and truly shine. So your strengths finder isn't going to tell you you should be an accountant. It's not going to tell you that you should not go into this career or that career, right? A lot of employers will actually try to use the strengths finder as a hiring tool. It's a very bad idea. Hire on skill. Frame the job with the strengths finder, okay? So there are 34 identified strength themes, which means that you get to be truly you. The chances of you having the same 5 strength themes, the same top 5, as anyone else is 1 in 33 million.
Wow.
And that doesn't even include 6 through 34, okay? So it truly allows you to be one of a kind. Many of the other profiles that are out there kind of put you into a box. You're like one of 4 things, right? This allows you to truly be your unique self. And each of your strength themes has needs, like humans need oxygen, okay? Not like luxury items. So that action that I was talking about, activator is one of my top themes. I literally need to move, both brain-wise and physically. I need that. It's like oxygen for me. Okay, and you have things like that that are oxygen for you too. So it's okay to know those things, get those things identified, and now you've got a personal owner's manual, okay? All right, so these are all the strength themes. If you don't know whether you've taken the strengths finder or not, you can look up on the board if any of those are familiar. If you have any questions about the strengths finder, you can always talk to me afterwards. It is not my IP. I don't own it in any way, shape, or form. I'm not even an affiliate. Okay? But I believe so hard in this profile that I'm happy to talk to you more about how to unwrap it for you. Okay? Learn them and then leverage them. Okay, so here's the deal. So when we put this all together, you've got a sweet spot. So right here, right there in the middle there, that is your sweet spot. And not a single human being who has ever walked this planet, not a single human being who ever will walk this planet, not a single human being who is on this planet right now can ever fill that spot. Ever. Like, let that sink in for a second. Literally, nobody else can fill the space in this planet, on this planet, in this world, in this workspace that you can. But you have to be willing to own that. So here's what we're going to do, is we're all going to actually stand up, because why? I like action. That's why. And I want you to turn to a person next to you. Okay. All right. And I want you to look them in the eyeballs. Do you need somebody? Okay, you got somebody? All right. Nice to meet you. April. And I want you to tell them, yes, find out their name and say, Eric, you are frickin' awesome. And use their name. Okay, now I actually want you to say it with a little bit more gusto. Tell them so they actually believe it. Tell them so they actually believe it. Mike, you.
Taking those steps.
I have you all look forward at me again. Now it's time to own it for yourself, right? We get that outside affirmation and that helps. But it doesn't matter until you internalize it, until you own it for you. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna own it and we're gonna say, I am frickin' awesome.
I am freaking awesome.
Okay, now we're gonna say it like we mean it, y'all. Ready? I am freaking awesome. Now go home and own it.